Hello everyone, my name is Praveen and I welcome you all again to my YouTube channel Java Fun. We are continuing our Docker series, it's the Docker for Beginners series, and today we're going to talk about Docker networking. So if you haven't gone through my earlier lectures in this particular series, I highly encourage you to go through it so that you can get a basic idea of what exactly is Docker, how the images are working, how the containers are created, and all the basic stuff you should be familiarized before you jump onto the Docker networking stuff. So, what exactly is Docker networking and where exactly it is used, right? So, if you've gone through my earlier lectures, you should know that whenever you start a image, it gets created as a container. Now, container is a isolated space or isolated process space within your VMs, right, or within your machines, basically. So, since they are isolated, you need to have some kind of a mechanism for it to communicate with the other containers or with the other networks like outside of your local area network, right? So there exactly is the Docker networking comes into picture. So if you want to, let's say, communicate with, let's say, for example, Google or any third party website or anything, right, outside of your container, you need to have a networking capability also within your network as well. If you want to communicate with other containers which is running a microservices or whatever it is, you need to have a networking capability. Docker does provide you a networking capability, and it is used a different type of network drivers to give you that capacity, right? So the by default there are uh, four network drivers which is there. There is a bridge. So if you don't provide any network driver while creating your or running your container, by default the network driver which has been choose is a bridge one. Overlay one is some of the advanced one wherein when you go to a Docker Swarm, wherein you want to run multiple containers for a particular image and all those things, there you use overlay one. Host one is wherein if you've seen the previous lectures, the host networking and the containers networking are separate. Basically, they're exactly, you need to do a port mapping and all, right? You need to map a port within the net host to a port within the container. But if you want to utilize the container as a physical unit within the host itself, then you're going to use a host networking. So wherein you can directly call a host network on that, but you can basically treat a container as a physical unit within the host itself. So the difference between the host and the container basically gets minimized, or they've been treated as one only. Mac VLAN is basically is similar to host, wherein you can directly address the container by using the MAC address of that particular container. And the user defined one, wherein you can define your own network by using any of the underlying network driver like bridge, overlay, or host, or MAC VLAN. You can create your own network, right? So that's enough of a theory, right? Let's go and check in the practical sense how we can utilize these things for our practical purposes. So to start with, basically we need to understand what all networks drivers are present into your Docker installation, right, or into your Docker machine, basically. So command for that is docker network ls. It should give you an output of what all networks which is present already, right? So if you see your bridge is there, host is there, and none is there, wherein you want to disable the networking for your containers. At that point of time, you can use none. The my network is something I have created. So for our purpose, we'll come to it how to create your own network and all those things. So for now, just ignore the my network one, okay? But the if you're running this command for the first time in your own machine, you should just see these three: bridge, host, and none. Now, if you want to see your details of any particular network, right? So how you can do that? So the command for that is docker inspect network, and then you give a network name, right? Let's say I put this one. It should give me the details of this particular network. So you can see a subnet address as well as the gateway address. If you see, the gateway address is 172.17.0.1, right? Then you see a container. So right now there are no containers running which is using this bridge network. That's why this is coming as empty. Now as and when we start few containers, you should see something here, right? Now let's say I'll start a few containers and then we'll see. As I told you, if you don't specify any network by default while starting a container, it will gonna take it as a bridge, right? It will gonna use a bridge network by default. So let's start something, right? Docker run. So what I'm doing is I'm running my container in background, so that's why I'm using -t, and IT is for interactive mode, right? We have seen this earlier. So, and I'll give a name for my container. I'll say Alpine 1, and I'm going to run an Alpine image, which is a very base, very minimized version of your Linux container, right? And I'm going to run a command called ash. Ash is a default shell for Alpine. Okay, it should run in background and give us a ID of your container, right? Now I run this one. I'm going to run another one with Alpine 2 again. So I'm running two containers right now. Okay, if I go to another tab and I do Docker PS, we should see two containers active and running. Should see two containers. Yeah, we see two containers which has been running. One is with Alpine 1 name, another one with Alpine 2 name. Now if we inspect our network again, we should see two containers within our container section. If you see here, we are seeing two containers within our container section. Now these are running in background, right? Our containers are running in background. What if I want to go inside my container and find it out whether we can connect to each other or not? Okay, so I'll go to another tab, and the things to remember is the IP addresses of your containers. Okay, for Alpine 1 IP address is 0.2, Alpine 2 IP address is 0.3. I'll go to another one and I say now the command is docker attach. Okay, I say Alpine 1. So I should go into the shell of Alpine. So we go into the shell, and now I just simply ping my Alpine 2 IP address, right? Alpine 2 IP address is 172.17.0.3. So 172.17.0.3. We should be able to ping it. We are able to ping it. We are receiving the response back as well. Now I will come out of this shell, and if I want to come out of this container itself, the command is docker pq. So I'll come out of it as well. Now I will attach the docker 2, and I'll see whether I'll be able to ping from Alpine 2 or not. Okay, so let's say ping 172.17.0.2. Should be able to do that as well. So we are able to ping each other from both the containers. Docker pq again. Okay, now this is how the bridge network is using the default, very default network right now. What we will do is I'll stop these containers now. I'll stop it. Docker stop. Okay, and I'll remove these containers as well. I'll stop it and I'll remove it, and then we'll create these containers using a user defined network, right? That is my network. That is what I've created. So to create till the time it stops. Okay, it stopped. I'll prune it as well. So I'll remove all the things. We'll have a clean slate. Okay, Docker container prune. I'll say Docker network remove my network. I'll remove the network as well. Okay, so I want to remove it. Remove all the containers, and my network has been removed as well. So if I do docker network ls, What do we see? Okay, now my network has been removed. We only have three network, which is default networks present as well, right? So now let's create a new network. The command for that is docker network create, and you need to provide a driver, right? So we saw there are three drivers, which is bridge, host, and none. So I'm gonna use a bridge one as of now. I'll create a bridge and give a name for it. I'll say my network. Okay, let's create it. Okay, let's do inspect again. Docker network ls. Now we should see four networks created as of now, right? This is successfully created. Now we should use this network to basically communicate between our containers now. Okay, now let's do docker run similar to what we did last time. Docker run dash it and give a name for it. Alpine 1, image is Alpine, ESH, and let's give a network as well. Say network is my network. Okay, let's run this. Taking a bit of time, should come out. Yeah, let's run another container with name Alpine 2, and then we'll see how many containers are up here. Docker ps, we should see two containers. Let's run it again. We have two containers, Alpine 1 and Alpine 2. Now see whether we are able to connect with each other or ping each other using our new created network driver or not. Okay, now let's say docker attach similar to last time. Attach Alpine 1, and here I do docker attach Alpine 2. Okay, we are in the shell now. I say ping. Okay, we haven't seen the IP addresses yet. Okay, let's check the IP addresses. Docker inspect my network. Here you can see the IP addresses, or you can make a command like IP address show, and you can see the IP addresses here as well. Okay, so in both the places you can see the IP addresses. So IP addresses are actually same. Oh, it's different. So now it is following the gateway convention, right? So last time it was 172.17, now it is 172.20. Okay, 170.20 0.2, 170.20 0.3. Okay, 172.20 0.3, same thing. Okay, now let me do this thing. Let me ping 172.20.0.2. We are getting the response back, and I'll do this. We have pinged using the IP address. Now I'll ping using the name itself. Okay, to see whether we are able to resolve the name or not. We are able to resolve the name as well. Similar thing we will do it here. Ping Alpine 2. We are able to receive the response as well. Now let's say ping google.com. I'm able to ping the Google as well. Let's say ping google.com. We are able to do that. So this is very important, right? So now you can see that you're not only able to ping using the IP address, but you are also able to ping using the names. You're able to resolve the host names as well. If you use the default bridge driver, you may not able to resolve it using the names. You need to use IP addresses. But if you create your own network, the way we have created the my network, you are able to resolve using the host names as well. Okay, so that brings us to a closure of this networking tutorial. I hope you have liked it. If you are liking this particular Docker series and you like the narration style, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. This is a motivation for a new YouTuber like me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please keep your support to the channel. Thank you so much.